Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. We are back live for another live show this evening as we look at the potential new manager. Yes, I know I did do a video, I think it was 2 weeks ago now, wasn't it, where I kind of discussed the early frontrunners for the job. But yeah, we're back again and we're going to have a look at how things are looking at the moment with the new manager. We're going to share our thoughts as well. Make sure you do get your comments in throughout the show. Who do you want as the next Huddersfield Town manager? Drop some names in the comment section, and either who we're linked with or just a name that you just a name that you think we should go for. So let me know. But first, before I get into it, please make sure you do drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new as well, and like I said, get your comments in throughout tonight's show. It is very much appreciated to have your company this evening. And also, I have released a video earlier on about the Academy, so do go and check that out if you haven't already. Obviously, an announcement with the Academy today, I'm sure you've all seen it. So yes, I did share my thoughts on that in the video earlier, so do make sure you have a watch of that as well. But yes, without further ado, we may as well just get straight into the live show this evening. Good evening to you all. But before we do get into it, we're going to see who's in the chat. Paul says, doesn't matter who the manager is, with Nagel in charge, Nagel's still here, the circus will continue, as neither have a clue how to run a club. I mean, Paul, I get your feelings right now, and I get that it is hard to kind of feel any kind of positivity or feel like they are going to get it right. But yeah, I mean, look, we do need a new manager regardless, so this kind of live show, you know, whether the ownership will make the right decision is another matter, but yeah, there's no real changes this week for me to say, you know what, yeah, we're acting quickly and we're actually getting into it, because for me, you know what I mean, we're just nowhere near in terms of how this club is being run, if that makes sense. I just don't feel like I believe in any of the ways it's happening at the moment. You know, how the club is being handled, how the club has been run for the past 2 years. I don't have any confidence either, but we do have to kind of, well, all you've got is hope. So, yeah, I guess that is all you've got to do, but yeah. Anyways, let's get into it then. So look, I'm going to put some names out there really and kind of just share my views on it really. So now, which way should I do this? Should I do I think I should do the top three. I don't know why people just park outside this house and just expect it to be okay. They're so inconsiderate. You're not meant to be parking there, pal. Anyways, we're just going to get straight into it now. So look, I mean, an interesting name is on the list at the moment with the manager job is Michael Hefele, who, yeah, I mean, look, obviously a player that we know very well, a person that we know very well, obviously a former central defender. He became an instant hit with us, didn't he, when he was with supporters when he helped us to win the promotion to the Premier League in 2017. Obviously, he hung up his boots. He returned to the club to combine a coaching and ambassadorial role at John Smith Stadium before he went on with spells with the likes of West Brom and most recently in Saudi Arabia as well. Obviously, he has recently just left his position in Saudi Arabia, actually, saying that he was wanting a new challenge, I believe. Now, obviously, that message did kind of spark a few to believe he's on the brink of returning to these shores again, and his relationship with us as supporters, I'm sure we'll all agree, would certainly make him a popular appointment. But look, for me, in my opinion, let me just get my thought. Look, I think Hefele is a very likable character. You know, we love him for what he did around these ways as well. But as a manager, I mean, he certainly was one of the he was one of the leaders in that promotion-winning team, which there were many leaders in that team at that point, wasn't there? And, you know, but I do think his lack of experience as a coach would be a huge gamble, to go with him, really. But hear me out here, because I think it would be great to have him back, actually, in another role at the club, to really bring the supporter base together again. He certainly has the ability to do this. We know, he's just one of those characters that just brings people together because he's such a likable guy, you know what I mean? And whether it be an ambassadorial role again, or maybe even an assistant coaching role as well, or even a mixture of both, like he did when he was at the Johns, when he was with us. After he retired, he came and did a mixture of roles at the club. So he's done that before. But as manager, I'm just not really sure about that, guys. I'm going to be honest with you, and that's my view. Now, hopefully the sound is okay this evening. Obviously, I have had a few issues with the feedback of this microphone that I've got here. Now, obviously, I don't know if it's because I'm streaming from an iPad, or if it's off somewhere over here, or is it because I haven't got earphones connected up to it? I'm not sure, but I have realised that there has been some feedback on the microphone. So hopefully you can hear me, guys, crystal clear. But I am going to get that sorted over the coming weeks. Well, but by next week for sure, hopefully. But yes, hopefully it's all right anyway. I'll have to listen back to the stream later on. And yes, the second name on the list here is Brian Barry Murphy, who, look, obviously, he's a surprise name, isn't he, really, to being linked with us, 46 years of age, he's very little managerial experience, but he has made a good name for himself as a coach, I will say that, but he's not, he has very little experience in management, and that is a concern. Currently first team coach at Leicester, apparently. He had previously been involved in the Manchester City academy setup as well. Now, if we were looking for that young coach with potential, then we could probably do worse than this guy. But the reality is we're not really in that position to be looking for potential. We need a coach that we know is going to be able to come in and really, hit the ground running. We can't have a potential. We can't have one of these potential upcoming coaches. We need a coach that has that experience. So for me, he doesn't fit the profile of what we need now, which is the experience. And this appointment will not get fans back on board, in my view. So for me, I wouldn't go here either with this guy. I don't think it'd be a wise choice, really. At this stage where we're at as a club. Tom says for me, Wagner is the number one pick. Yeah, I mean, look, a lot of people are saying that, and I understand why, absolutely. And I am going to get into him because he is the favourite currently right now. I think Wagner is the number one. Nagel wants, hope he agrees to come. Yeah, there's been a lot of rumours, actually, hasn't there, really, about Wagner coming back, to be fair. I've heard all sorts. Now, so yes, we are going to get into the favourite, which is, I feel like I should call him Sir David Wagner, not just David Wagner, Sir. And yes, he is the favourite right now, but there's lots of speculation, lots of different rumours, and I just don't know what to believe, guys. But what we know is that obviously he's a guy that we will always remember, of course, leading us to the Premier League in that fairy tale season, of course, and then obviously kept us up in the Premier League in the first season as well. Now, apparently, now according to TalkSport, they published a story which claimed that the German had been offered the job, although one rumour claimed he had turned down the opportunity for that emotional return last week. Now, I just don't know whether it's true or it's not. We just don't know, do we? Now, so the football romantics will hope a return could be on the cards here, but I just can't see. I'm going to get into why I can't see this happening, to be honest with you guys. But now, obviously, he hasn't had much success since leaving us, has he really? You know, so perhaps the time has come for kind of a reunion with us. Who, look, many town fans, already a few people in the chat saying they want him back, and I understand why. Would love to see him back here, of course. But look, for me, I won't refuse him back. I'm not saying I would, because of course we'd all take him back. You know what I mean? But if we're being realistic, I just can't see him coming to a club that is in complete disarray. Wagner will want a club that everybody's on the same page. It's all not, obviously, if kind of not all this negative doom and gloom that surrounds the club at the moment. I think he just I just can't see it happening. If he's turned down the position last week, if we're led to believe the rumours, you just never know what to believe, do you? Then clearly he just isn't up. He doesn't want it, and there's nothing we can do about that. So I would love him back, absolutely. Do I think he'll come back? Not right now. I don't think he will come back at the moment, for me. I just think there's too much chaos and carnage at the club right now. We're going to call it that, chaos and carnage. I think there's too much chaos at the club at the moment and too much uncertainty. Now, if you do believe the rumour that he did turn down the club last week, then you've got to ask yourself, why did he turn down the club? Well, you've got to look at the recruitment, aligning with the people that he's going to be working with. Clearly, no kind of alignment there. So I just don't think it will happen. I would take him, but I don't think it's going to happen, guys. I'm going to be honest with you. And the longer it goes on, I think the more you kind of get the vibe that, yes, it's not going to happen. And yeah, so that's my views on that, really. So yes, let's have a look. Comments. Who would you want if it's not Wagner? James, I'm going to answer your question very shortly, so stay tuned. Yes, we are coming on to that in a moment. I did say a few weeks ago who was on my shortlist in the top 2, but you obviously didn't see the video that I posted, but that's all right. I will tell you that in a moment, but let's go through a few more names. The sun is gleaming in now. Blooming heck. Now, another name that's been linked that's close in the just outside the top 3 in terms of odds is Rob Edwards, of course, who obviously he has been a whirlwind couple of years for Rob Edwards, hasn't it? He guided Luton to the Premier League. He did oversee their relegation and then lost his job after a disappointing first half of the season with Luton in the Championship this season. Ultimately, a lot of fans there said he should have been sacked earlier because it just wasn't working, and they've ended up getting relegated again, as we know, so they're playing us next season. But obviously things ended very disappointing at Luton for him. But look, he shouldn't be forgotten what he actually did for Luton and the remarkable job he did do initially. Now, the thing is, the question here is whether he's willing to kind of drop down to League One at this point. You know, it's not really known whether he would or wouldn't. Maybe Edwards sees us as a potential platform to show what he can do again, but he may have other options. Maybe he will feel like he could do a job in the Championship or whatever. I don't know, guys. But for me, I think this appointment wouldn't exactly get me excited, if I'm being honest with you guys. Now let me explain this, because first of all, like I said, no one can take away the job he did at Luton. You're getting them to the Premier League on the low budget they were on. It's just an incredible story, really, isn't it? But I just look back to how it's panned out for him, especially this season, where, like I say, he has contributed in them going down in the end to League One, but also how badly the tides turned as well, you know. And he wasn't able to do anything to stop that either, was he? And I do think that relegation they had for the Premier League, there was in that down moment then, and that kind of compares to us. Obviously, we're not on the back of relegation, but there is a lot of downbeat. You know, the chaos and carnage at the club right now. A lot of downbeat negativity around the club at the moment, and what makes us feel like he's going to be able to come in here in a downbeat place that is just demoralised because of what we've seen in the past few years and turn the tides positively. I just don't think that will happen for me. So I'm just not sure he would be able to come in at this point and do that. So for me, Rob Edwards, I just don't think so. At least, to be honest with you, no, it's not for me. But big up to everyone that's tuning in right now. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new. We are currently on 830 subscribers before the show this evening. And yes, we are getting close to that 1K, guys. I mean, 170 away now. Doesn't sound that far away, does it? But it is. It is far away. But look, the support lately has been incredible. I appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, we're going to keep the consistency with the channel, keep the content coming. And yeah, hopefully you guys are enjoyed the videos, obviously, this week. And, you know, we'll be back for more next week as well. But I'm not going anywhere just yet because we've got a bit of the show left. But yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for the support the past week or so, because I have recognised that a lot of people have kind of really got behind me. And look, you know, it's just great. But so yeah, big up to you all, and thank you so much. Let's get into the chat. George, this evening, Ryan, hope you're well. I really do think Wagner would come back, but he also needs to go to Southampton, so I'm hoping we can get him back with us. Yeah, obviously, George, you've kind of joined. I don't know if you joined when I was talking about David Wagner, but you may have joined afterwards. If you do want to rewind, I've kind of covered that as well. And for me, I just don't think he will come back to this kind of chaos and carnage of a club at the moment. I think he needs everything to be on a level playing field for him. He needs that positivity, and he needs that kind of. He needs to see a vision. He needs to see a plan, and this club doesn't have a plan. We've shown that for the past 2 years, and to me, and we're going to get into it a bit later on, we've had no real announcements in terms of potential sporting director or anything. But we're going to get into it a bit later on. But I've got a theory about that as well, of why maybe we haven't. But I also can't really defend the fact that nothing's been done this week. I did expect that sporting director to be in this week because we've been without one for weeks. So there should have been a lot going on in the background to get that person in. But we've not heard anything. So I just don't feel like we've got a plan again. It just feels, I've just got a bad feeling again about this summer already. And the season's only just finished. I get that. But I just think the fact that the sporting director has been out of the job for a few weeks and we've needed one, why is there not being them conversations had with the people that they want, the person that they want to bring into the club? It doesn't make any sense to me at all. But yeah, I know Southampton are needing the managers as well, so you might be right there. Obviously, Southampton, you might want to go to Southampton, but I didn't actually mention that when I was talking about him. coming to us potentially. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But for me, I just don't think it will happen. Stina says, where do you guys find all the rumours and infos about potential managers? I just go on Google sooner. Obviously, I just find my information off Google. Good old Google. What would we do without Google, eh? And yes, a few also rumours on social media. So I don't really take social media too seriously, to be fair, because there's so many false rumours out there. So I tend to go onto Google and yes, research, see what's about. Mike says, evening, Ryan. Hope you're okay. Big up to you, Michael. Hello there. Good to see you. How are you doing? Keith says, I don't think Wagner will come to us. Southampton or Sunny Huddersfield. So, or Sunny Huddersfield. Also, whoever it is, we need them in ASAP up the Town High Hall. You don't think he'll go to either of those clubs then? Yeah. Probably would fancy the Southampton job more than ours, maybe. I don't know. He still has Huddersfield Town in his heart, of course, doesn't he? Always will, and we'll always have him in our hearts as well, of course. But I just don't think maybe he sees it as a platform you can work within. Sorry, in terms of coming back. We've just look that we've said it time and time again. We haven't got a structure at this football club. We haven't got a plan. So I don't really see a manager like Wagner coming back if he hasn't got them things in place. That's the way I see it. But we do need to get a manager in ASAP. You're right. We haven't got time to be wasting, have we? Love your videos, by the way. I'm probably your first subscriber from France. Oh, big up to you, Suna, from France. I am. Bloody heck. We are going across Europe, of course. Big up to you, and big love to France. Yes. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Anyway, I won't try and speak any more French. I did do French at school, ironically. So, yes, I do know I can speak a bit of French, but probably not intense anymore. But I used to be able to when I was studying it at school. But yeah. Big up. Thank you so much. I appreciate the messages. I appreciate the kind compliments. Soon says, hi, thanks. I've been trying to find as much info as possible. I love this club so much, and I can't wait to know who will be our next manager. Yeah, I mean, look, it's brilliant, isn't it? We've got a French subscriber, French Huddersfield Town as well. Brilliant to see. But yes, look, we all love the club, don't we, very much, and we hope that we do start to move up in move up the leagues again, of course, and get promotions and have lots of success. But whether that will happen under this ownership remains to be seen. But we do love the club, and we all love the club. And yeah, look, I am excited to see who the next manager is going to be. But I just, like I said, I don't have much confidence in the powers that be to get it right. And until I see any positive kind of steps forward in that department, with a new sporting director, with a manager, if those decisions are right, I will say, you know what, fair play. But we need to start moving with these things now, because we haven't got time to be wasting. We've got loads to do this summer. But merci beaucoup, yeah, indeed. But big up to you, Suna. Good to have you in the chat. But getting back to the show, obviously, another name that we've already mentioned on this channel, guys, and I think everybody will say a massive, resounding no to this guy. Wayne Rooney is still on that list to become our manager. Now, look, he was relieved of his duties by Plymouth at the end of last year. And he has claimed he's waiting for the right club after difficult spells in Devon and with Birmingham City. He still says that his hunger to get back in the game is evident, and things like that, and he wants to keep, his hunger is still there. I think we've already covered this story on Rooney, though, and I'm going to say it right now on the last live show, and I think I speak for everybody when I say this, that this would be the completely wrong move. for us. Every club this guy has gone to, he's taken them backwards and contributed to both Plymouth and Birmingham's relegation. And I can't do it. I just cannot have a guy that has done this. I just can't. Look, an amazing footballer. We know this, but just because you're an amazing footballer doesn't mean you're a good manager. You're a good manager. I just don't think he's a very good manager, guys. I'm going to be brutally honest here. So no, Rooney would not get the fan base back on board with this football club either. It would divide even more so, and it just wouldn't go down well. Rooney coming to this club would not go down well whatsoever. So that is all I'm going to say on Rooney. Now the next name, which look, who asked me earlier, James. Here is my manager that I would bring to this football club, and this name is Dez Buckingham. Yes, Dez Buckingham is an interesting name in the hat for me, and anyone who watched the early front runners for our next manager video that I did, I put him on my top 2 picks. I did, because I just think this guy has really been a fantastic manager. He's shown that he's a good manager at this level as well, by the way. And to be honest with you, he will probably consider himself very unlucky to have lost his job at Oxford when he did earlier this season. He did a fantastic job in leading them to promotion from League One in the 23-24 season on a very limited budget, may I add, and had them in a decent position in the Championship when the club decided to sack him for some reason in December last year. Since then, Buckingham has been linked with several coaching roles in the EFL, and yes, he is in the frame. But for me, I just think he fits the bill, guys. I'm going to be honest with you here. You know what I mean? He's a manager that has had that experience. He's a manager that's got out of this league on a limited budget. Now, if we can actually get somebody in recruitment that can actually recruit well, then this guy, because we have got money to spend, Nagel is willing to put his hand in his pocket and spend money. That is what we cannot say that he hasn't done, because he has. The problem with Nagel is he's entrusted the wrong people to spend his money, and that is why we're in the situation we're in. Now, if we can get somebody incompetent, like I think this guy with more money could actually do something good with us here. And I think he can get us promoted if we bring this guy in. And I say if, the foundations are there for him to succeed, and we've got somebody that can recruit players well, and players that the manager actually wants as well, may I add. Because it's no good just signing random players that the manager just doesn't feel like he can work with in his system that he likes to play. So that is where I'm at. So yes, Dez Buckingham is my choice to be the next Huddersfield Town manager. Let me know who you would have as the Huddersfield Town manager next. Who do you want in? Let me know. Anthony says Wayne is a clown. Look, I'm not going to get personal about Wayne Rooney. I just don't think he's a very good manager, and that's it. I think he'll be a disaster. Keith said, I don't think anyone wants Rooney. I would love Big Sam, but he would not come here. Well, the thing is, though, with Rooney, he always seems to get linked with jobs, and I can only think it's because of who he is. That is the only reason that he gets linked with every job that becomes vacant at a club. I just because he hasn't shown anything in his management to say that he can do a job anywhere, and that's not being harsh, but that's the reality. He's taken clubs backwards that he's gone into. That is it. But I'm not sure about Big Sam coming here. But yeah, fair enough. Max has been all quiet with Neil since he's arrived back in the country this week. No news on director of football and manager. Just a meeting with Hogg and Academy News. Yeah, it has been very quiet, and this is where this is what really annoys me, because look, I expected things to start moving this week, and it hasn't. We're on Friday. and we've seen nothing. He is in this country, like you said. So what is he doing? What are we waiting for? Get the sporting director if you're getting one in. Do that this week. If you would have done that this week, that would be fair enough, fine. You know what I mean? We have appointed one now. Now let's get a manager in the following week, and let's build. But he hasn't done that, has he? And we've not heard anything. So again, not sure what the indecisive nature is. We need to start making decisions. They need to start making decisions, and quickly. We haven't got time to be wasted. Yes, he's had that meeting with Hogg. We don't know what was said in that interview, of course, or anything. But maybe we'll hear something on that soon. I don't know. Maybe we won't. And yeah, look, the academy news. Yeah, obviously, the academy news is good, isn't it? Rob Edwards would be a good choice. See, I said earlier, I don't know if he was here earlier, Michael, but I just don't think Rob Edwards would be a correct choice at this point, because I just think, as I said, when Luton got relegated, he struggled to turn that negative tide around, and he's ended up contributing to getting back-to-back relegations. That is my concern. He's coming here in that similar position, not of a relegation, but the negativity, the carnage and chaos the club is at. I don't know if he would, and plus, it just depends if he would drop down to League One either as well, to be honest with you. But look, Dez Buckingham is my choice. He has shown great promise in the manager, and he's got out of this league on a limited budget with Oxford United. Let's bring this guy in, and I feel confident if he does come in that we will see the rewards if we actually do make the right decisions in the boardroom. But yeah, it's always a big if with that, isn't it? I've seen outside odds a few names here: Sean Maloney and Neil Collins. I don't really think that either of those two are suitable, so for me, big no. But look, it'll certainly be interesting to see how the odds kind of change over the coming few days. Maybe there's kind of sometimes a bit of a change in that, isn't there? As we go along. But look, as I said, 100 days to go, around 100 days to go until the new season starts once again. Not that we need reminding, of course, the amount of work that needs to be done. We've got to find a new sporting director, as I've already said, as Michael said, new manager, and practically a whole new starting 11. Judging by that release list, clearly we need practically, I'm not saying every single player, but we need practically a new starting 11. There's a few players that I would put in that lineup to start next season, but we need practically a new team. Now, like I said, and then get them playing together as well, in pre-season, ready to challenge for promotion. As we've already said, this requires Nagel to have that proper plan to do all this. I'm already doubting that he has a plan, because he hasn't learned his lessons in years gone by since he's come to this football club. I don't have any faith right now for him to do so. So look, he needs a plan. We need a plan. But does he actually come up with a plan? I just can't. I just don't know. I don't know. The evidence suggests not. That's what I'm going to say. Now, I want to ask you all a question out there right now as well. Do we even need a sporting director at this level? Because for me, I've been thinking about that this week, to be honest with you, about if we actually need a sporting director, guys. I actually think it would be a positive thing not to have one at all. And I'll tell you why. It'll allow the manager, whoever that may be that comes in, to have more control, first of all. And at this level, I just don't think it is necessary to have a sporting director in League One. How many clubs in League One actually have a sporting director? I don't think there is. I'm not saying none of them do, but I don't think many of them do. from my understanding. So, but that is just my point of view in terms of, I just don't really think, maybe we don't even need one. Because I would prefer a manager to come in and have more control, right? Have more control on recruitment, players he wants. Because I've always been the old-fashioned way of, I believe there is too much interference in football now. I believe that a manager should always have more control and have control of recruitment and ever. These sporting directors and all this who think they know best, they don't at all. Let the manager choose his players. Let the manager choose everything, and you know what I mean. And let him do his job. Why have we got all these random people in sporting director roles that think they know best? It isn't really. I've never really been a fan of that model of the club hire, the sporting director having more control over a manager. That's the way it's gone in football now, overall. But at League One level, it's not really the norm. I think it's more, manager orientated than it is sporting director orientated at this level. And I just think the fact that there hasn't been one appointed yet is strange. We haven't had one for weeks, the sporting director. There should have been conversations of who will replace him if they had that replacement, and announce it this week. But they haven't done that. So, yeah. Anyway, let's get to the comments. Sorry, guys. I'm just, once I start going on, you know me. I just kind of, keep going. Ainsley says, hi, mate. Are you okay? Big up to you, Aidan. How are you doing? Good to see you. And he also says, make sure to smash the likes, everyone, and subscribe if you're new. Yeah, big up to you. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Always supporting, always, my wonderful mod. And yes, thank you for all your support, as always, mate. Sorry, mate. No worries. Look, you can catch up on the show. I have covered a lot of stuff since you've been, obviously been going for around 35 minutes. So I've kind of missed a lot, but it's not to worry. Good to see you here now. Anyway, Nagel got a big shopping list. Wayne says, yes, we need a big shopping list, and we need quality on that shopping list to come to the football club. And we need players that want to play for this club. And yes, Ian says, fingers crossed, I'm hoping it's Wagner. If it's Rooney, then Nagel has a relegation wish. If it's Rooney, I think it will turn very, very toxic. You make a good point here, and I've already covered all these. And yeah, look, I think everybody is putting all their eggs in one basket in terms of David Wagner returning. But what if he isn't going to return? Who would we go for then? Because I've already said it, I want Dez Buckingham to come in, former Oxford United manager, who got them promoted from League One to the Championship, and then wrongly got sacked when he had them in a good position in December last year in the Championship. I thought it was a strange move by the board at Oxford. So he's unlucky to be out of a job at this point, in my opinion. But I agree about Rooney. If he appoints Rooney, this will turn absolutely. The fan base will be in meltdown. There'll be uproar. There'll be absolute uproar if Rooney comes in, and that is the reality. And like you said, it will turn very, very toxic if Rooney is the man that they appoint. That is not going to be a good move. But we've seen it, guys. We've seen it from this owner. He is naive. He seems to do things at times that goes opposite of what the fans are actually asking for or wanting. So I actually wouldn't put it past him. To actually to appoint Rooney. But he can't. He cannot appoint this guy as manager. So I agree. It will turn very, very toxic. And I agree. Don't want Rooney. He did note at Plymouth, Derby and Birmingham. Yeah. Just sent them backwards, didn't he, really? Especially at Plymouth and Birmingham. James is Dez's favourite for Cardiff job on the betting. Yeah, but the thing is, Cardiff are in the same league as us. So if we want this guy, then we should be able to go and get him, in my opinion. But fair enough, if he's the favourite for the Cardiff job, I didn't know that. But yeah. Keith says, what do you think of Sean Jarvis quitting his job? Yeah, obviously he's quit his job. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I thought it was interesting how it's all kind of the timing of it as well, because then people have been saying, ooh, is he going to come back here again and things like that. As potential sporting director. But for me, I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence that he decided to leave his role at the time when we need to sort out get a sporting director if we do choose to have one. So yeah, I'm not sure. To be fair, I haven't really been following him since he left town. So yeah. Do you think Michael Hefele should have a role next season? Yes, sooner. I think you must have missed it when I was on about that. Yes, look, I think obviously, I think I would bring somebody like Hef back. Like I said, a very likeable character. We love him around these ways, of course, part of the promotion winning side of the Premier League. And he's a very bubbly character. I just think he's a guy that could really galvanise the fan base to a degree. And yeah, he's just a good character to have around the club, innit? But to be honest with you, from what we've seen, the owner doesn't seem to like good people around the club for some reason. But yeah, look, I would certainly look at potentially. I mean, look, if we did get a sporting director, could Michael Hefele do that role as sporting director? I certainly would feel like I could trust somebody like Hefele in there. You know what I mean? Has the best interest of the club at heart. We know that. And he's proved that with his time at the club, not just as a player, but when he did go into the... did a mix of ambassadorial role and coaching, didn't he? When he stayed on as a coach and as a staff member, when he retired. So yeah, I would be more than happy to see Hef return, of course. Yeah. Just makes me smile even saying his name, guys. That's the effect he has on that. To be honest with you, I just really like him. But yeah, how can you not like him? You know what I mean? He's such a character. But look, I think I've kind of covered everything. So to be honest, in this live show this evening, big up to everyone that's in, by the way. 21 of you in here right now. If you haven't already, drop a like, subscribe. Have we gained any subscribers since this live show began? No, we haven't. 21 of you in here right now. Surely a couple of you in there are not subscribing. It is free. You just click the button down below. And like I said, drop a like as well if you can. There's 21 in here, so there should be at least... There is actually 21 in here right now, and there's only 11 likes. Come on, guys, don't be tight. Click the like button, and that will be greatly appreciated. But yes, Sudaras, who do you think has the best potential as a player in the team? For me, I'm presuming you mean in the players that are left at the club right now. Look, obviously, we have got some players coming through. Well, a particular player that I think has huge potential, and that is Tom Yorpender. I think I rated this guy for a while, through that he's been in the academy, been knocking on the door of the first team, got injured, during the season, just gone. And yes, but I think we would have seen a lot more of him had he had not got that injury. I know Duff did touched on it a few times, how he said that he does need to work on a few things of his game when he was fit. But yeah, I think he has huge potential. In terms of the first team setup that are already here, though, I mean, I think Brodie Spencer certainly has that potential to go even better for me, for sure, because I just think, yeah, he's a good player. Needs to work on a few things, of course, but I do think he's still at that age where he's still only young. I think he has got huge potential. So Brodie Spencer, for me, I think is the answer to that. Really, I think he obviously a player that I don't know. I'm kind of apprehensive. Are we going to potentially lose him this summer, guys? He might get interest. I know he's on. I know his contract is into his. Isn't he into his final year of his contract as well? Next year contract runs out. So you know what I mean. If he's not going to sign with us, then I don't know if we're going to be forced to sell him. But I wouldn't like that at all. I think Brody Spencer should be part of our plans. Not saying he's been perfect this last year, but still think he's done some good stuff as well. But yeah, he needs to improve a lot. But I still think he's got that ceiling to, I think he's really got that ceiling to really, you know what I mean, really turn into a really good player, to be a really top player. That's just my view on it. But yeah, any final questions before we wrap up the show? Thank you for that question, though, Soon. I appreciate that. Any last questions before I leave you for the weekend? But like I said, I do appreciate everybody being here and supporting the channel. But yes, if you are joining just right now, you have missed the show, so you'll have to go back and rewatch and listen to it again. Because yes, I feel like I have made a few good, I've made quite a lot of, I've shared a lot of thoughts this evening and who I would like as manager as well. So yes, and the potential candidates as well in there too. But yes, I think we're going to wrap it up then, guys. So yes, thank you very much for watching. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend, whatever you get up to. At least Huddersfield Town can put us down in the dumps again and, of course, make us all miserable, for now at least. But, of course, the start of the League One playoffs this weekend as well, which is where we should have been, the bare minimum. But I've got people telling me out there, we will go again next season every single time. Doesn't matter if we didn't get promoted this season, guys. We'll go again next season. That's what I was hearing. That's what I've been hearing. Absolute nonsense. But look, Wayne says Coventry or Sunderland. What, tonight you mean? Obviously they're playing tonight. I just think Coventry. I think Coventry are going to. I think Coventry are going to do it this time. You know what I mean? I think they're going to get promoted. We saw that they got close. When they was up against Luton in that playoff final, when they lost on penalties 2 years ago now. And yeah, they were so unlucky. But they've got a really good thing going on at that club right now. I can tell. You know what I mean? They've got some quality players as well. And I'm not saying that Sunderland haven't either, because they have as well. I'm not saying they haven't. But I just feel like Coventry, this is their year to get promoted to the Premier League. Frank Lampard's done a fantastic job there as well. And but he has come into a place where they has got a lot of quality at the club already. But they were just going through a tough time, weren't they, when they appointed Lampard? So yeah, but yeah, for me, Coventry. And last comment before we wrap up, I'd love Wagner with Hefele's assistant. Yeah, look, I think that would be the dream team again, wouldn't it, coming back? But I just don't think Wagner will come back. And if we believe reports as well that he's already turned us down last week, then there clearly are problems with whether it's been a meeting with the owner or whatever. There's clearly problems with what he wants and what the club are saying, clearly not aligning. So that, if we do believe the reports that has come out, then it doesn't look great and it doesn't look like it is going to happen. But look, thank you for watching, everybody, and for all your support. And I'll see you on Monday for some more Huddersfield Town content. Have a good one, guys, and I'll see you all on Monday. Goodbye.